Good morning, Crystal here. How are y'all doing? It's November, y'all. Um, but I wanted to give some really quick words of encouragement. Um, Daily words of encouragement for the month of November. We have this month and next month, December, and we're pretty much closing out the year. So I know this is a time where like everybody tries to go really hard and really press forward to like get some things done and stuff like that, and just really get clarity on their lives and things like that. And I just want to share what I've been getting um this month, just to even closing out October, but this month. And one of the things is like, I had to tell myself on the first actually of November that I belong. And I'm gonna give y'all the context of this story, right? Because I've been working on myself and really just allowing God to renew me and transform me. And I know what I say to myself and the way that I think about things subconsciously, consciously, affects me in every single way. And so I had the opportunity to go with my husband to work on Monday, which is great, because he has this really cool like contract job where he delivers packages. And so he has the opportunity to go in like, this gives him it gives us and him the opportunity to continue to explore Georgia, because we've been here for 7 months now. And we did a little bit of exploring when we first came, and then it kind of died out a little bit once school started. And now he has this job where he goes a few days a week, and he gets to see some really nice, like he gets to just be all over Georgia wherever he chooses to go. And I've been with him a couple times, and we've been in some really nice neighborhoods. And on Monday, when I went with him, um, we were riding through some beautiful neighborhoods in Marietta, Georgia. And there was one particular, like the first neighborhood we rode through, it was like this country club. And when we rode in, we knew it was a nice area. I mean, Marietta is huge. But when we rode in there, like, and we pulled up to the house that he was had to deliver the package at, I was just like, oh my God, this is a beautiful house. A beautiful house. The neighborhood was beautiful. The houses were like perfect. They were like ideal for what me and my husband wants. And so I began, like, I heard this thought of like, you don't deserve that. Like, you don't belong in this neighborhood. And like, I had to immediately capture that, because that's a lie, first of all. And I could have you know, really settled in that thought. But I was like, no, I'm not going to settle in that, because I know what I'm dreaming for. I know what I'm believing God for. And it doesn't even matter what my situation looks like right now. I am a daughter of God. And when I am a daughter of God and I understand who I am, I can have anything that I desire to have as long as it's in His will for my life, right? So I'm like, I do belong. And that's a lie. And let's throw that in the trash, because these people that live in these homes in these neighborhoods, they had to have worked on themselves mentally to say, I deserve this. This is what I want. This is what I want for my family. This is how I want to live. And a lot of times we count ourselves out because we feel like we don't belong. And it's not just in a nice neighborhood, in a country club, or it can be in business, it can be in marriage, it can be situations as a parent, it can be in any community, any situation where you can count yourself out because you're looking at your current situation and how it is, and you feel like, "Oh, I'm not capable of doing this," or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And I had to capture that thought, and I was like, I do belong. Yes, I do. Like, I am I am a daughter of God. And let me go ahead and throw that away, because if I had settled in that thought, like, the rest of my day probably would have been ruined. I don't know, y'all. Like, we don't we really don't pay attention to how we do things subconsciously, when there are thoughts in our minds that will tell us negative things, and we keep those negative thoughts in our mind. And we have to, that's why it's important to know who you are. And for a long time, I did not know who I was. Like, I knew what I wanted out of life, but I did not know who I was to be able to keep pressing forward towards those things. So I had kept putting myself in a lot of situations where I felt like I didn't belong. And that feeling of that, like, root of feeling like I don't belong started happening when I was a child. I mean, and I'm not blaming that, but this is like what we have to go do, the inner work, to be able to get over these things and understand where these thoughts come from, to for it to be in our minds to say, you don't belong, you don't deserve a house like this. How are you going to get a house like this? You can't even do this, or you can't do that. You barely have this, you barely have that. Like, look what you have to do. You can't do the work to do this and that. Like, those are the thoughts that used to be in my mind. And immediately I would count myself out. And those thoughts began to root when I was a child, because I just went through a lot of situations where I felt like nothing was good enough. The words I received, the love I received from people. And at this time, even though I grew up as a pastor's kid, I didn't know like God the way I do now. And I'm still learning and loving who God is in my life. So I didn't know who he was at that time, and I wasn't being taught who God really was in my life. I wasn't being taught who I am, even though I was a pastor's kid. I was born into church. But all these things began to take root in me as a child, and I never felt like I belonged. But of course, as a child and going through like my elementary years, preteen years, teen years, I still wasn't hearing this information. So it was like, I'm just accepting whatever is being given to me. And all I was receiving is like, you don't belong. This is what you have to do. My life was dictated to me. So, I mean, if that's what you're going through, like, how can you feel like you belong in anything? How can you? I even had dreams and desires back then, but because of who I saw myself as a person, it was like I would never get to these things. And those things took root, like deep roots in my life. And that is what I'm working on right now. So these are the words that we have to speak. Because I'm a woman and I'm free in Christ, and God loves me so much and he accepts me, I do belong in a country club if that's where I want to live. I do belong in a $1 million house if that's where I want to live and raise my family and my children. I can have all of that. I can have all of that. So I want to encourage you to really push forward and be renewed in your mind and be transformed, and tell yourself that you belong. Think about all of the places where you counted yourself out, where you had opportunities to enter rooms or be around certain people, and you didn't do it because of fear, because you felt like you didn't belong, you didn't deserve a seat at that table, your thoughts were keeping you in bondage, and you didn't press through the fear. Because remember, God did not give us a spirit of fear. He gave us power, love, and a sound mind. A sound mind means that we belong. There may be industries and different things that you're supposed to be doing to disrupt it and be innovative, because we are creators. We are creative in God. And how can you be creative and do things out of the ordinary if you feel like you don't belong? That's a lie. That is such a lie from the devil. You will stay stagnant, you will be complacent, you will procrastinate, you will literally live in fear because you feel like you don't belong in something or with someone. Y'all, and I wasn't this person last year. Like, I wasn't even this person a few months ago. So I want to encourage you, because as you really seek God, and you allow God to heal you and get all of this trauma out of you and cleanse you and get all of this just garbage, these dirty garments, right? This is what I've been reading about too. Like, you feel like you have no joy in what you're doing and stuff like that. Like, you really have to begin to change your mindset and root out all of those thoughts of negativity and bondage and all of that stuff that is keeping you down and making you feel like you don't belong in anything, because you do. You are free in God, and I want you to begin to tell yourself that. Get your word, declare who you are over yourself. I am a daughter of the King. I am free indeed. I have the mind of Christ. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I am trading my I'm trading beauty for ashes. Like, I don't want the ashes anymore, God. I want beauty. I am taking off all of these dirty garments, and God is putting on a new wardrobe. And y'all know how we are as women. We have a dream of having a closet, like a wardrobe closet. I want that. But I felt like I could never have things like that because of my life and my mindset and the people that were surrounding me. I felt like I could never have a wardrobe, like a house with half of my house is like my wardrobe. Why not? Let me tell y'all something. God really gives us one life to live, and you really have to think about how you're living it. How you are allowing yourself to live your life. Are you really going after your desires because you know you belong and you know what God has for you? Are you just are you just living in bondage and in fear and counting yourself out? So I want you to begin to do that. Begin to say and tell yourself, I belong. Revisit all of the dreams and the desires that you've had and say, I belong. And revisit those things if you know it's something that you're still supposed to do. And say, I belong. Forget about what people have to say. Forget about what they're going to think of you. Forget about how you look. I had a person, I'm going to share this with y'all and I'm going to close this out. I have had many women come to me and say things like, you need to get yourself together. And before you go live, you need to put on some makeup. Your hair need to be done. Put the kids to bed and stuff like that. Like, I've had people tell me this, which caused me not to want to put out the things that are in my heart, because I felt like I had to be so put together. I had to have on makeup. I had to have my hair done. Yeah, my hair is done, but I'm also 8 months pregnant right now. And I'm not going to keep things within me and start to feel it physically because I need to meet somebody's standard of how I should look. You either take me as I am and receive this word or whatever I'm giving you, or you don't, but you keep moving forward. But I got stuck in that. Like, I had people telling me, you need to look like this, you need to look like that, you're a businesswoman, you need to have on a suit, you need to be looking like this all the time. Come on. I am that doesn't count me out. I still belong whether my hair is done or not. I still belong whether I have makeup on or not. I don't even own makeup right now, y'all. So all of that, no. I still belong if I'm not wearing a suit. I'm a regular person. I don't wear suits all the time. I'm not finna present this person that is not looking like that all the time. I got 4 kids at home. I'm a married woman, but I still have something to put out. So don't allow that to stop you either. Don't feel like you ever have to look a certain way. You have to meet somebody else's standards. You have to present yourself a certain way because that's what social media looks like. No, you still belong. And stop counting yourself out because you don't have makeup done every day. Stop counting yourself out because you don't dress your best every day. Stop counting yourself out because your hair is not laid, your lace is not laid, and all of this stuff. You still belong. And I had to tell myself that. I don't care what people think of me anymore. I have an assignment. I want to be able to say she understood the assignment, right? So that is my word of encouragement to you today. You belong. Stop counting yourself out. I want you to capture all those negative thoughts and throw them away. Throw them in the trash and begin to speak and say, I belong at this table. I belong in this business and I'm going to disrupt this industry. I belong here and there and everywhere. My products belong in Target and Whole Foods and all over the world. My nonprofit is going to touch women all over the globe. I'm going to make such a huge impact that I can only say that it was God and he gets all of the glory, right? That's how you start to count yourself in, and you start to say that you belong, and you begin to present yourself like that to the world. So y'all, I'm done. I am done. So I hope this encouraged you, y'all. Enjoy your day and tell yourself all day, I belong because I am a daughter of Christ. I belong because this is who I am. This is what God says about me. This is what he's told me to do. And I'm going to present it no matter what. Despite distractions, despite hardship, despite circumstances, your life does not have to look perfect. If God's telling you to do something, you know you got it in your heart to do it, you do it. It does not matter how it looks. It's about your obedience. And when you are obedient, you are telling yourself that you belong. So I'm out, y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing day.